YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports with another football video, and today I'm going over my Week 9 NFL Power Rankings. This is a series that I've been doing on the channel since Week 2, and it's my best performing series on the channel. You guys really enjoy these Power Rankings, and I'm glad to be able to get them out on Monday, because I know that a lot of people don't get them out Monday morning. They wait until after the Monday night games on Tuesday. At least that's when NFL.com does it. So, yeah, I like putting these videos out early. I think that you guys like seeing them early, and I hope that you guys enjoy my power rankings for Week 9. Starting off this week's power rankings, like always, we have the dumpster fire. Number 32, we have the New York Jets. At number 31, we have the Giants. And at number 30, we have the Jaguars. All of these teams have been terrible throughout the entire season. None of them have played a single good game, and the Jets are 0-8. Rounding out these terrible teams. There's nothing else to be said about those three teams. They are 32, 31, and 30. At number 29, we have the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys, after losing Dak Prescott, have their season just gone straight downhill. They were doing okay with Dak Prescott. I think that they ended up 2-3, and then once he ended up getting injured, their season has gone 100% in the complete opposite direction. They are now 2-6, and they have no way of catching back up, even in their own division. Right above them is the Washington football team, who beat them last week 25-3. The Washington football team is 2-5. They're not much better, and they're coming off of a bye week. The football team is not what you would say the best team in the league, and they haven't shown anything impressive at all whatsoever. Right above them is the Houston Texans. The Texans are, I believe, 1-6. They have a pretty solid offense, but their defense is absolutely horrendous. That's a trend you're going to see in this entire category, is horrendous defenses. So the Falcons and the Chargers. Speaking of the Falcons and the Chargers are my 25 and 26. The Falcons are 26, the Chargers are 25. And both of those teams are in the dumpster fire because they can't win close games. They both have 2 wins, and both of those wins were in pretty separated games where they were pretty decently ahead of their opponents. When the game was close and the game was on the line at the end, they couldn't win, they couldn't pull out the victory, and that's why they're in the dumpster fire. The Falcons' defense is absolutely horrendous, even though their offense is pretty solid, and neither of those teams deserve to be any higher than 25. At number 24, we have the New England Patriots rounding out the dumpster fire, and they're unchanged from last week. I had them at 24 last week. We lost to the Bills this week in a very close game where Cam Newton fumbled the football at the very end. If Cam Newton didn't fumble the football at the very end, then our season would still be intact, and I would probably have us in teams with potential, because we probably would have potential. But I think that we're going to start trading players away, and our team's just going to get worse and worse. So we are number 24 in the dumpster fire. Right above the dumpster fire, we have teams with potential. Starting off that category is the Bengals. The Bengals just got their second win. They're now 2-4-1, or 2-5-1. I think they're 2-5-1. My apologies. So the Bengals are 2-5-1, and the Vikings got their second win today as well against the Packers. The Bengals beat the Titans, and the Vikings beat the Packers. Those are both two very impressive opponents, and they both had pretty solid wins against them. I was surprised to see both of those teams win, and I was surprised to see the Packers and the Titans lose, frankly. Right above them is the Broncos, who just won their third game. They beat the Chargers and the Patriots in the last couple of weeks. Both the Chargers and the Patriots have 2 wins now, and the Broncos have 3. The Broncos have been playing very solid ever since Drew Lock came back as quarterback, and they do have some potential. I don't think that they can make the playoffs at this point in the season, but their team is looking okay. Right above them is the Philadelphia Eagles at number 20, and the Eagles are leading the NFC East. They're 3-4-1, and their season hasn't been going terribly. It started off pretty bad, but they've gained a couple of wins in the past few weeks, especially this week against the Cowboys when they beat them pretty handily, and the Eagles are coming on strong, probably going to win the NFC East. Right above them at 19 is the Lions. The Lions have played some tough games. They played some close games. They are 3-4. I foreshadowed this last week when I said that they were 3-4 last week. Everyone yelled at me because they were 3-3. Well, now they actually are 3-4. I was foreshadowing. I am a future teller. The Lions have a pretty solid team. They're not anything special, though, and they do have some potential because Matthew Stafford is a pretty decent quarterback. Right above them is the Carolina Panthers at 3-5. The Panthers have played some tough games, and they just lost this week to a divisional rival in the Falcons. They played some tough games, and I think that they deserve to be right at number 18. And rounding out the teams with potential at number 17, we have the 49ers after losing a game this week to a divisional rival. The 49ers have had a pretty solid season so far, and I expect to see more from them in the future. Now we move on to the borderline playoff teams. There are 16 teams borderline playoff, and up 14 teams make the playoffs. So most of the teams from now on should make the playoffs. Number 16, we have the Cleveland Browns after coming off a loss to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Browns have beaten some pretty easy opponents by quite a few points, but they also have scored less than 10 points against the Raiders, the Ravens, and the Steelers. They are not a playoff team. They have not beaten any playoff teams, and they are not an impressive team at all whatsoever. Their only impressive game was against the Colts. They are a solid team, that's why they're 5-3, but they're not anything special. The Dolphins have just moved above them. Number 15, this is the highest the Dolphins have been this season. The Dolphins have been moving up and up and up and up and up every week because their season keeps getting better and better and better. Ryan Fitzpatrick was replaced with Tua this week, and although Tua didn't have the best game he could have had as the first game, the rest of the team played very well against a tough opponent. Right above them is the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders have had some very hard games, but they've beaten some very good teams such as the Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm excited to see what they'll do for the rest of the season. Above them is the Bears. The Bears have been hovering between borderline playoff and wildcard weekend for the entirety of the year. They started off 5-1. They've lost 2 games in a row, and the Bears are just a very interesting team right now. Right above the Bears, we have the Rams, who are also 5-3 after coming off of a loss this week. The Rams have been hovering around the same area as the Bears this entire time, and I don't see them moving a whole lot from where they are right now. They have a very solid offense and a very solid defense, but they can't always put games together in the best way possible. That's how they lost in their game today. Right above them is the Colts, coming off of a pretty solid win against the Lions. The Colts, I think this is the highest they've been this season. I think they might have been in wildcard weekend at one point in the season, but since their loss to the Browns, this is the highest that they've been. The Colts are coming on strong, and I think that their second half of the season will also be very strong. We now reach the top 10, and the Saints have come back to wildcard weekend. So the New Orleans Saints have a very strong team. They started off with a win against the Buccaneers, and then they tacked on a couple of losses to start off 1-2. They are now 5-2, and the Saints are starting to figure out what kind of a team they are this season. They're starting to figure out their identity, even without Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara and Drew Brees have not looked better this season. Next is the Tennessee Titans after coming off of a loss to the Bengals. The Titans are now 5-2 as well, and after 2 losses in a row. They were previously undefeated 2 weeks ago. Now they are 5-2, and their season is starting to go downhill. They were number 4 in the league on my power rankings 2 weeks ago. Now they're number 9. Right above them is the Arizona Cardinals. They didn't play this week, but last week they played the Seahawks and won. So that moved them up, and then they moved up again after the Rams and the Titans both lost this week. So the Cardinals are moving up even on a bye week because other teams are getting worse, and I think the Cardinals have a very strong team. Right above the Cardinals at number 7, we have the Buffalo Bills after playing a pretty decent game against the Patriots. They are unmoved from last week. Right above the Bills, we have the Green Bay Packers at number 6. The Packers are unmoved from last week, even though they lost this week to the Vikings. It was a divisional game. It was a close game. I don't think that the Bills played exceptionally well to warrant the Packers to drop below the Bills. But both of those teams are both very strong teams, and so are the Cardinals. Number 6 through number 10 are all almost the exact same team right now. And it's very interesting to see how these teams are going to progress throughout the season. At number 5, we have the Ravens. The Ravens are coming off of a second loss to one of the top teams in the league. They've lost to the Chiefs, and now they've lost to the Steelers. This is the second opponent in the regular season, or the third opponent in the regular season that Lamar Jackson has lost to. He's only lost to the Kansas City Chiefs and one other opponent before today, and Lamar just tacked on his third team in the regular season he's lost to. The Ravens would be in the top 4 right now, but they've lost to 2 other teams in the top 4, and you would expect a top 4 team to be more closely competitive with those other teams. They'll probably pop back into the top 4 if one of the top 4 loses another game. But right now, the Ravens are sitting at number 5. We have finally reached the NFL's elite, and these are the top 4 teams in the league. The Pittsburgh Steelers are number 1 because they have not lost any games this entire season. They are the only undefeated team in the league, and they just came off of 2 incredible wins against the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens, keeping them undefeated. And number 2 are the Seattle Seahawks. Their only loss was an overtime loss to the Arizona Cardinals, who are also a very strong team. You can't really fault them for that. They have the most explosive offense in the league. Russell Wilson is going to be the league MVP this season, and the Seahawks are very strong right now. They are still my Super Bowl pick for the Super Bowl this year. And number 3 of the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is coming off of a 400-yard and 5-touchdown game against the New York Jets. That's very impressive to have 5 touchdowns, but it's not as impressive considering it was against the Jets. The Kansas City Chiefs have a very strong team, hence why they're number 3. Their only loss is to the Raiders, another strong team, and it was by less than 1 score. In 4th place, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 5-2. They are presumably 6-2 at the end of this week when they beat the New York Giants in an absolute beatdown of a disgusting Monday Night Football game. But they're a very strong team. They are the only team on the top 4 that have a top offense and a top defense. I think they have the best defense of these 4 teams, and they're looking to improve after early loss to the Saints and a 1-point loss to the Bears early on in the season. So thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you appreciate my power rankings. I hope that you agree with my power rankings. And let me know in the comments below what you think I should change for next week. I think that these are pretty accurate. I think I do a pretty good job with them, but I know that there have been complaints in the past, so please let me know your thoughts. We have 131 subscribers at the filming of this video, and I can't believe all the support these videos have gotten. All the amazing retention, all the amazing viewership, and it's incredible. So thank you guys so much for helping me grow my channel. We're going to grow this channel together, and it's going to be incredible. So thank you guys so much. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my content, and make sure to tell your friends about the channel to help it grow more. So thank you again. I enjoy making these videos. I hope you guys enjoy watching them. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out.